Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for the 13th of August 2013. Still battling this summertime cold, therefore the raspiness to my voice. Hopefully this will get out of here soon enough. It can't come soon enough. Alright, let's take a look quickly. I'll probably be pretty fast with this today. A couple areas to watch in the Atlantic, neither of which pose a big concern, a low potential disturbance in the Western Caribbean, and one right off the coast of Africa here. This will enter an area of more stable air and has almost no chance to develop after that, it looks like, as this region of the tropical Atlantic still very dry, very stable, not a lot of vertical instability conditions, just not favorable for some reason. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, we shall see. Climatology would certainly suggest that would be the case. This area, 20% chance of development, and in the next 48 hours, with 30% chance in the next 5 days. Still getting used to that and how that works. Just a real quick reminder on that. In the graphical tropical weather outlook here, this map that you see, that's where you get the 2-day, 48-hour outlook with the colors, the yellow, or the red, or the orange, or whatever. And then if you read the text product, the actual tropical weather outlook itself, further down, this is where you get the information on the 5-day probability of development for any particular system, or even when there's nothing going on in the Atlantic basin at all, it'll just say tropical cyclone formation or whatever not expected for the next 5 days. So that's how that works, just in case you were wondering. Looking at a satellite animation of the Atlantic basin here, we'll look at a visible satellite shot. You can see out in the eastern Atlantic all that drier, more stable air mass as evidenced by these low stratocumulus clouds sitting out here. However, this right here is interesting. It's a big curl. Showed it yesterday. Large envelope of moisture sitting out in the eastern Atlantic. We'll have to watch that as it moves west towards a more unstable and more favorable upper environment, maybe in this area in a few days. When you see a large, clearly curled up system like that, you know it's got a lot of energy associated with it. This is the disturbance that we're watching that has a 30% chance of developing over the next 5 days as it heads in this general direction. Once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, though, it looks like a trough dropping in from the Midwest will impart a good deal of shear across this system, with upper level winds kind of going this way, and the system coming into that pattern would get sheared apart and be somewhat lopsided, I guess you'd say, and not very well organized. So I don't see much coming of this, but it, along with the stalled frontal boundary that's going to come in across the east here, should drop a lot of moisture over the next several days. This is the Weather Prediction Center. It used to be called the Hydrometeorological Prediction Center. This is the Weather Prediction Center's 5-day quantitative precipitation forecast. Fancy way of saying a lot of rainfall is coming in the areas that you see outlined, especially from the purple to the red and then the oranges. And the scale goes up to 20 inches. Hope we don't see anything like that. But you see here the southeast, the Carolinas, Georgia, parts of the Florida Panhandle, where it has been very wet so far this summer already, could see in excess of 2 to 4, maybe 6 inches. 4-inch amount right there off the coast of Pensacola, and then 6 inches here near Wilmington, North Carolina. The bottom line, the combination of the front coming down out of the upper Midwest this way, this trough that's going to swing in, and then the tropical moisture coming up out of the Caribbean and Gulf will get squeezed out over this region, and a lot of rain is coming. And that is something we're going to have to pay attention to as we head to the rest of the month and into September, because we're going to have a saturated soil profile across the southeast as we enter the heart of the hurricane season. More on that if we need to talk about it later. But just remember, when it's very wet like this ahead of time, you do set the stage for potential flooding if you get a large hurricane or just a tropical storm, in some cases coming in, especially those slow moving ones. The eastern Pacific, nice and quiet. Finally, after that train of storm after storm after storm out there, things are starting to calm down. All right, well, that is it for today. I'm going to go rest my voice some more. We'll keep an eye on what's going on in the Caribbean and the far eastern Atlantic. But again, no high-impact systems forecast by any of the global models right now. Anything that comes around would be just a big rainmaker, and we'll see how much rain falls. And, that can be a problem too, so be aware of that over the next few days. Again, I'm Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. Always a privilege to be able, if I can speak it, to produce these videos for you on Hurricane Pro in HD. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll be back with more for you tomorrow.